So it's been more than a month since I released my video on why I replaced my Sony FX3, which I dearly miss, for this tiny little cheap toy. Now this is a great camera, this Sony ZV-E1, but there's obviously one major flaw with it, and that's the fact that it easily overheats. And one thing that I really want to bring attention to that a lot of other influencers, YouTubers did not talk about is what happens when you have this camera plugged into a USB-C cord, which is reasonable because you want to charge the camera whilst you're filming yourself. And then also you want to use the smartphone app on a tablet or something like that. I like to use it on the tablet and then monitor yourself because this is a content creator's camera. This is for vlogging, which is content creation. So how did it perform? Well, as you know in the video, I concluded that it did not perform very well. So let's watch this footage that details my test and shows you what happens. So this is where I typically do my video shoots for long extended periods of times. And right now you can see you can barely see it's 23 degrees, 23.2. You can see my Elgato Stream Deck is right behind here. But given that it supports USB-C streaming, maybe I can just completely ditch the Elgato. Maybe I can save that, make another $100 back, and it'll help cover the cost of this camera. We'll see. Let's see how good it is. All right, so we've been recording through HDMI into OBS over here, and it's been 32 minutes plus another 10 minutes because I was playing with the camera settings and whatnot, so I was filming differently. And you can see that we're still at 100% battery. So that's a really good sign. That means it's holding its charge while using the Elgato Stream Deck. So there's the Camlink 4K. I really recommend it. It is absolutely fantastic. Now, yes, obviously I'm not recording onto my SD card because I don't need to. It just goes right into OBS. But it's still a really good test to know like how well it does. 24.5 Celsius, which is actually quite hot in here. I don't think I've ever done shots more than like 40 minutes, so I think I'm already really satisfied with the performance. Obviously, if it's hotter in this room, who knows how well it can do, but so far, I haven't had to like open the battery door or anything like that. So in the first test, I used the Camlink 4K to connect the Sony ZV-1 to my computer so that I could stream and record videos. And I find that a very convenient setup because I don't have to record to a memory card, and I don't know, it's just a very simple flow that I like to do when I record my videos. And these are typically long shots, like anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And I was quite surprised that it was able to support the HDMI output and still record at 4K. So it didn't overheat in that test, and it was around 24 Celsius. So far the first test was okay. It did fine. There are no issues with that. So just a quick pause. Why do I seem a little bit disappointed when I'm saying it performed well, it performed okay? Well, when I reach behind the camera, it's just extremely hot, and it's very concerning because this heat that I can feel on my hands, it's just, I don't know if it's going to affect the battery life or the CPU or the chip or on that or the glue that's inside this camera. I'm just concerned how like it's just really hot, even though it's not shutting off right now. I've never felt this on the FX3 or FX30 or even the A7C to be honest. Anyways, let's resume my previous train of thought. It's the second test where I take this to my other filming location and I plug in a USB-C charger and I turn on the 5 gigahertz streaming to the content creator app for the smartphone. And then I try to record a talking head there for about, maybe an hour or something like that. Or maybe I do an overhead shot where I'm doing a tutorial and I want to have the camera plugged into a USB power outlet so that, it keeps its charge for a long time, but while I can still monitor what I'm seeing because it's obviously above my head. So I need to be able to have a monitor, and I don't want to use an HDMI monitor. I want to use the Wi-Fi streaming monitor. How would a test like that turn out? Well, let's find out. So I'm going to switch it to 5 gigahertz and then run this for quite some time, talking head style on a tripod. And let's see if charging it plus streaming to a monitor will make this thing choke. So folks, I'm really disappointed. I cannot believe that I cannot charge the camera and then stream through 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi so I can monitor myself and then record more than 29 minutes on a talking headshot. This room was only at 24 Celsius, and I think this is a reasonable feature, especially at 4K 24 frames per second. I'm not doing 4K 60 or anything like that. All right, so we passed the 30-minute mark on the second attempt. So this time I don't have it plugged into the charger, the USB-C charger, because that's fine. I can compromise on that. And I also opened the battery door, which conflates the experiment a little bit, but it's doing a little bit better. When I touch it on the back, it's still really hot, but hopefully it doesn't turn off. So my benchmark was to at least get 1 hour, and I achieved it without charging the device, but still having the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi streaming. I still think that this is a major disappointment, and I really wish that I had more capability of using all the features while doing just some basic 4K recording. So my conclusion with this overheating issue is that it's going to be really, really affected if you're going to be charging with a USB-C connection while you're recording. Whether you have Wi-Fi streaming or not, I don't think that makes too much of a big difference. But I think the fact that you are charging your battery while recording, and every time you charge your battery, obviously the lithium-ion battery produces heat. I think it's just too much heat. So you're going to get maybe about 30 minutes in a 24 Celsius environment. And I don't think opening any of the flaps or the battery door is going to help at all. You will probably need a fan, and that's something that I really wanted to avoid because I think this is such a nice, compact, sleek form factor that I love the design of the ZV-E1, and I don't want to have to strap a fan to it or have to remember to charge my USB-C fan every time I want to film something or strap it on with some Velcro. I think that's a really terrible workflow inhibitor, and yeah, so in my cases, I'm just going to have to maybe face the fact that I can't charge my device while I record myself and maybe buy a second battery in case of that. Now, I do want to comment about the USB-C streaming in 4K. So far, I've been recording into OBS using the 4K streaming, and it's been excellent. I haven't had to use my Camlink 4K for quite some time, and it's nice that I can sell that device and then maybe recoup some of my losses. And what's really good about this so far is that I've been filming for maybe 30 minutes to 60 minutes in a pretty warm environment. Right now it's 24.6 Celsius and it has not shut down yet. So being able to record with USB-C streaming, whether you're streaming or recording directly into OBS, has been working pretty well for me, for my use cases. And it works out because I can monitor myself on my big monitor over here. I got the monitor right here. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that I'm not recording onto the SD card because I don't need that extra redundancy. And I'm pretty sure if you record to the SD card, it would cause some overheating, who knows. Another nice benefit with USB streaming is that you always have a USB-C cable connected to your device, which is powering the device. Now, obviously, depending on the motherboard of your computer or whatever, your laptop, it's not going to supply a lot of power. However, I do notice that the battery does drain a little bit slower than what you would typically have if you were to record this standalone onto your memory card just using the battery. So you might have extended streaming times or recording times with the USB-C cord connected. And it's great because when you turn off your camera, you can simply just have it charge and not have to remove the cable ever. So it may function as a permanent camera for USB streaming. Okay, so just a quick update. My camera finally just shut off on its own, and I wasn't paying attention. I was just editing in my Premiere project, this very video that you're watching, and it just completely turned off. So I'm not sure if it was because maybe it was a timeout, but I don't think there's any 1 hour timeout or anything like that. But anyways, I've been filming for more than an hour, so maybe an hour and even 30 minutes, like quite a long time. So I'm not too disappointed that it shut off, but it is concerning that it just shut off. So yeah, not the greatest, but over an hour and 30 maybe. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you're very concerned about overheating, maybe don't buy this camera, but so far I think it's been working okay for me. And yeah, we'll see. I'll update this video if anything else really bad happens or anything like that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.